DIA, the program is set up to monitor the behavior of the workforce, to detect that behavior that could be of concern, and to put that behavior into context to determine whether or not it poses a risk, threat, or vulnerability to the agency. They're human beings, they come from all walks of life, and they respond to the environment in which they live, work, and play in. So the question is when that environment gets stressful, how will that employee respond? Will it be a constructive response or a destructive response? Our job is to detect that behavior and be able to put that in context to determine which way the employee may go. One of the core areas is what we call the hub. And for DIA, that's our threat mitigation cell. The hub is where we gather all kinds of employee-related data, both internal and external to the agency, electronic, non-electronic. We ingest it, we correlate it, and we assess it. We combine that with our user activity monitoring tool in order to give us about as holistic picture as we can possibly have in both the physical and the virtual world for our workforce. And then we monitor that behavior to identify behavior that is out of the norm, uncharacteristic for the employee, behavior that could be considered to be of concern, and then we try to put that behavior in context. We use two tools. Of course, our user activity monitoring tool, which monitors all of their systems behavior. And then we have a correlation tool that ingests all the data. It correlates it to employee profiles. And then we run algorithms across that data to bring information to light that tells us that the employee is acting differently. The tool actually learns the employee. It knows when you come to work, it knows when you go home. It knows what you do online, and it ingests all this data and it gets a profile of you, and it tells us when you've changed, when something's different. If we detect behavior of concern, and it could be anything, the question is once we have enough information and we've applied enough thought process to it to make a determination that if left unchecked, this behavior is going to be destructive, then we can turn around and refer it out to an existing discipline and function who has the responsibility to provide that formal response. That could be from the Office of Counterintelligence, it could be from the Office of Security, it could be law enforcement, it could be human resources, it could be leadership issue, it could be a management issue that needs to be addressed. In order to put behavior into context, we need the most information available, not only regarding the employee, the member of the workforce, but also what's going on within the agency. So as the case control element, we now have visibility on what the Office of Counterintelligence is doing. We know what the Office of Security is doing. We also have visibility over what the Office of the Inspector General is doing. So we know that if in their business lines they identify and open up an investigation or an inquiry regarding the members of the workforce, we know about it. Because again, our concern is how will that member of the workforce respond to that stress? Will it be a constructive response or a destructive response? And we want to be positioned in order to detect it and prevent it from happening if it's not a constructive response.